What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. If this is not your first time, welcome back. For those of you who don't know, my name is Devontae Kelly, and I'm a first grade teacher in the Middle Tennessee area. Now, today is July the 30th, I believe, and it's been a little minute since I've been in my room. I have taken some time away for the past couple of weeks. I only came up here once last week, and that was to film last week's video. Before that, I think that was the setup video, so I really haven't been in here much since then. I did actually come this past week on Tuesday, but that was just because we had an in-service training on our new reading curriculum EL, which I will get into a little bit further into the video. But I do want to let you guys in on something, just to let you guys know that if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I am infamous for changing my classroom a lot. And with this time coming, with COVID and opening schools up, there are a lot of things that are changing on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. And because of that, I have changed my classroom again. Our district has put out that masks will be required for this year. And because of that, kids will be 3 feet apart instead of the 6 feet, which is a good and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because I don't think that they should be this close together, but it's also a good thing because I would in no way have my kids 6 feet apart. When you see my classroom with the desks in the rows, they weren't even 6 feet apart. They were barely 3 feet apart. But because of some of those changes and because I did not like those desks, I changed my room around and I've added some flexible seating back in. I actually have a couple of things I need to do first before I show you. So I'm going to quickly put you guys down, get that done, and then I will pick up once I'm done moving some stuff around. All right, y'all, so this is the view when you come through the door. As you can see in the back, I have a trapezoid table. It's divided into 2 parts. That way 2 kids can sit at it. I have 2 desks right here, 2 desks right here, 2 desks right here, 2 desks right there, 2 desks right there. And as you can see, they all have different types of seating as far as stools versus the bouncy chairs. And then I have 2 round tables that'll house 2 kids, and those are divided in half. And I have 4 lap desks in the front, which make 20 seats in all right now. With us having 6 teachers, I'm not anticipating having 20 kids, but if so, I can move some stuff around. I can add some desks to the counter over there to add a couple more. I really don't want to add anybody over here because once you move to this side of the room, you can't really see the clear touch, which is where I mostly teach from. You won't be able to see that very well just because of my big windows and all the light that it lets in. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but once you kind of start to move over, you'll see it starts to glare, and it makes it a little bit harder for the kids to see. So I don't really want to move any more people on this side. But I'm sure I can manipulate some things over on this side, so that way I can add some more seats. My table is still sitting over here. We have our classroom library up here. That is my document camera over there. Student supplies are going to be in this corner right here. And that's pretty much it for right now. This right here is still going to be a hot mess just because those are things that either need to be thrown away, I need to be taken by the front office, or I need to find a spot for it. So hopefully by tomorrow when I come back, this area will be cleaned up. But that's what I have so far. Like I said, 20 kids. I love how open it is. Oh, and I don't know if I said this before. I probably did, but our district is requiring our kids to be at least 3 feet apart. I went a little bit more than that, and I have all of my seats at least 4 feet apart, and that's from every seat. So if you're sitting at this yellow spot right here, you're 4 feet away from the person at the lap desk, and you're 4 feet away from the person sitting at this desk right here. So that way it gives a little bit extra space to not be as close to each other. All right, y'all, so that's all I got for you right now. I was going to get into my training that I had this past week, but I'm tired. I'm ready to go home. And I got to come back tomorrow anyway, because tomorrow is honestly like the last day that I have before our actual in-house trainings start. So I'll come back tomorrow and I'll talk to you guys a little bit about that. I'm going to finish setting up some of my things, getting things thrown out into the dumpster, cleaning up some last minute things, and then helping out some of my other teammates because they'll be coming tomorrow too to set up some things. So that'll be my day tomorrow. And then after that, boom, teacher trainings. But that's it for now. I'll see you guys tomorrow. What's up, guys? Today is Friday, July the 31st. What would have been our first half day today, but with our schedule pushed back, we are going to be starting teachers on Monday and then the students that next Monday on August 10th. So I came in today for a little bit just to get some last minute things done, those last few touches. And for the most part, this is what my classroom is going to be looking like on the first day when kids come in. I don't really anticipate any more changes happening in my room. Hopefully they won't happen, but you never know. But for right now, this is how it's going to be. I was just about to leave, but then I remembered that I have not talked to you guys about EL yet. So I want to sit down for just a second and talk to you guys about that and get you some information on that. All right, y'all, so it's currently raining, so hopefully you're not hearing anything in the background as far as rain, thunder, or anything like that, because it is raining pretty hard, and there is some lightning going on too, so hopefully the power doesn't go out or anything. But I'm going to try to get this done as quickly as I can. I apologize in advance if there is any type of sound in the back that makes it hard to hear me, but we're going to push through, we're going to persevere regardless. So starting with EL, I want to just tell you in my own simple terms what it means to me. If someone was to ask me, come up and say, hey, what is this EL thing going on? My response would be, it is a hands-on, science-based reading curriculum. It is heavy on integrating science into your reading program, and that includes phonics, that includes writing, that includes grammar, and your reading comprehension skills. It all revolves around the next generation science standards. Okay, I'm going to insert some screenshots from the actual EL website. I won't read them word for word, but there are a couple of things that I do want to share with you guys, because when I was going through the curriculum over the summer, you know, I was really thinking in my head before I even saw some of this stuff, like, wow, this is so in depth, or wow, you know, this is really pushing them to do this or do that. So with EL, it has a couple of different components to it. It has the foundation skills block, which is kind of like your phonics lessons. It has labs, which are like centers, and then it has your modules, which are going to be those reading comprehension or your regular ELA block that you would have. And within those components, you have the 3 dimensions of student achievement. So that means throughout all of these, throughout your labs, throughout your module lessons, throughout your phonics lessons, or your what they call the foundation skills block, throughout those lessons, you're going to see 3 main pillars of the student achievement. And it's your mastery of knowledge and skills, character, and high quality student work. And like I said before, I vividly saw these while going through the lessons and while reading those lessons, but there's always a but my biggest concern with doing EL this year is not the curriculum itself, but more so just the standards that it is assessing. Just because, and this is no fault on EL. It's a fantastic curriculum. I think that they did a fantastic job of writing it. But for me, being a teacher in Tennessee, we do not follow the Common Core standards or the next generation science standards, because in my personal opinion, Tennessee, for some odd reason, does not want to follow the Common Core standards, even though the Tennessee standards are pretty much the Common Core standards with some things shuffled around. The same with the science standards. We don't follow the Next Generation Science Standards. We follow the Tennessee Science Standards, which is the exact same as the Next Generation Science Standards, except they switched topics among the grade bands. So what the Next Generation Science Standards say you should teach this in first grade, those topics are moved to kindergarten, or they're moved to second grade. And then some of those topics from kindergarten and second grade are moved into first grade. And so that's what makes it super hard for me to wrap my head around right now, because as of now, I've been told that, on top of doing this curriculum, which really does take up a lot of time, I'm also going to have to add in more time to teach more science and social studies standards. And that's not sitting very well with me right now. But I'm going to try the best I can. And that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it at for right now. But moving on to actually teaching the curriculum, I've been creating a couple of different things that I want to share with you guys. I'm super excited to share it with you guys. Hopefully these are some things that can help you out. And without further ado, I'm going to show you my computer screen and take it from there. All right, guys. So what you're looking at right now is a picture of my screen with a flip chart that I made on Active Inspire. If you don't know what Active Inspire is, it is a fantastic application for creating different types of presentations. They call them flip charts on Active Inspire. If you don't have a clue what that is, I've actually talked about using Active Inspire before on an earlier video. I'll put a link in the description box below referring to that video, so if you want to see how I've used it in the past, you are more than welcome to. One reason that I've started making these is because when looking at the EL curriculum, like I said before, it is a very good curriculum, but it is also at the same time very prescriptive. It tells you what to say. It tells you what to do. It's very, very cut and dry on you should do this and not this. And I am not really a person, I'm not a teacher who reads from a book on how to teach. It's very natural to me to just know what to say and know what to do next. But it does at the same time give a good outline of what to do. But like I said, I'm not someone who holds a book in front of the classroom while I'm teaching, giving my instruction. One thing that I've noticed that is out there are Detroit slides from Detroit Public Schools. They've put together some different PowerPoint presentations to go along with the EL curriculum. My issue with that is that they're very bland, they're very boring. Everything's in black and white, and that's just not appealing to me. So over the summer, I've been creating different module lessons to go with each lesson in EL. And right now, I'm going to show you just a random one. You can see at the top that this is from Module 2, Unit 2, Lesson 7. Module 2 for first grade is about the sun, moon, and stars. If you look at the bottom, I do put the title of each lesson. For this lesson, Lesson 7, we're going to be doing a focused read aloud, and this is going to be Session 1. And the book that we're going to be using is Does the Sun Sleep? Noticing the Sun, Moon, and Stars, okay? So getting into this, we're going to start with our opening, how we start our lesson. We're going to talk about something that we've done in the last lesson, which is finding prepositions in a poem. And we have our prepositions listed in a chart. We're going to keep moving and use those prepositions in this poem to fill in the blanks. Then we're going to move into our learning targets for the day. And then we're going to get into our actual focused read aloud. So you can see what we're going to be doing before reading, while we're reading, and then what we're going to be doing after we are finished reading, okay? So here we are. We're going to start with our focused read aloud. And one thing that I've done that I think is going to be a lot more helpful for me, especially since our kids cannot come to a whole group area. Everyone's going to be at their seats, and I have kids everywhere in my room from the very front to the very back. I went ahead and added pictures to each slide. The EL curriculum gives you by page what you should be talking about. So here's the page that they reference in EL, and then these are the things that we should be talking about while we're on that page. And that goes on for a couple of different pages, okay? This is a slide that talks about some new vocabulary words that we're going to be talking about, and that'll go on our word wall. And then you can move this after we discuss what we think the word is to figure out what that word means. We're doing some more focused read alouds. Here goes some more words that we're learning. And then we're going to get into our Unit 2 guiding question. What patterns can we observe in the sky? It looks like we've already talked about we see a pattern with light and dark and that it makes day and night. But then we're also going to talk about what patterns do we see with the moon. We're going to write them in down here at the bottom. One big plus that I love about Active Inspire is that once you are writing on a certain page, you don't have to erase it or delete it to move to the next page. It saves directly to that page, so that way if you need to ever reference it again, it stays right there. When I move to the next page, I won't see it anymore unless I go back to that page. And that's something that I had a difficult time with the applications that I have on my Clear Touch now. It would have a drawing tool, but it would just draw whatever's on top of the screen and not necessarily on a certain page or anything like that. So that's what I really like about the Active Inspire application, is that when I write on a certain page, it stays on that page. Here we are with some more things. Patterns of the moon. We're reviewing some of our word wall cards that we've seen before. And then we're going to do an experiment. So we're going to watch this video right here. And then we're going to talk about what did we notice about the appearance of the moon as it circled around. Then we're going to talk about our habit of character, integrity. And then we're going to do a little experiment of our own with some different objects. Then once we're done with that, we're going to do some observations and writing. And then we're going to do that for the sun and the moon. And then we're going to end our lesson with a group discussion on how does our sky notebook, what we just did, add to our understanding of adjectives and prepositions. So within these, within our sky notebook, we're describing what the sun looks like, and we're also describing where it is in the sky. So that's how it relates to those adjectives and prepositions, because we're using adjectives to describe the sun and moon, and then we're going to be using those prepositions to describe where they are in the nighttime sky. And then that's pretty much it for this lesson. Once we're done with that, that's pretty much done. And every other lesson kind of follows that same pattern. We're going to start with some type of opening. We're going to move into our actual meat of the lesson. Then we're going to move into one, maybe two, either group work or some type of independent work. And then we're going to end it with maybe some type of group discussion or some type of writing sample or something of that nature. But that's pretty much what I have made. But I also want to share with you the vocabulary cards that you've seen in these slides as well, because these are actually not offered by EL. These are actually vocabulary cards that I made myself. I've shared them with other first grade teachers, and I've gotten great feedback on them. I've had some kindergarten and second grade teachers message and ask me about their grades. I've went ahead and made some kindergarten and second grade ones as well. So if you are kindergarten, first grade, or second grade, you're using EL, and you're in need of some vocabulary cards, feel free to look below in the description box. I'll have those linked by grade and by modules. That way you can look at them and see if those are anything that you'd want to use. But other than that, I'm going to actually turn my camera around. I'm going to show you a couple of examples firsthand, what the cards look like once they're printed out, as well as where I plan on having my word wall in my classroom. All right, y'all, so super quick, here's an example of my vocabulary cards as well as the habits of character cards that I made. These are for module 3, and then these are just used throughout each module. This is the board that I am going to be putting it on. I will put the title of the word wall up top, whether it's the tools word wall, the sun, moon, and stars word wall, or the birds word wall. These strips are going to be where the actual vocabulary cards go. And then these square ones down here are where the habits of character ones get attached to it that we can reference back to all year long. So there's my wall that I'm going to be using it for. And again, here is just a view of the cards themselves. All right, y'all. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I am going to take the weekend to just chill and relax. And go to a wedding because my friend is getting married on Sunday. And then we're just going to get the ball rolling and get school started. So I will check in with you guys next week where I will be sharing some things with you about virtual open house and virtual meet the teacher. So be sure to check in to the next video. Other than that, I'm done. Peace.